too. But here we're playing a black-green Reanimator deck that is trying to use Shifting Woodland as like extra reanimation effects in addition to Persist here. And we're also playing our new favorite card, Fanatic of Rhonas, to not only be able to activate Shifting Woodland really easily, maybe cast some Troll of Khazad-dm really power, but also just hard cast Archon if you draw it. So one thing about this deck, right, is like you need to be black for reanimation stuff, you need to be green for Shifting Woodland, and because you're playing like all these Shifting Woodlands that just tap for green, it's very difficult to play cards like Psychic Frog, like Tainted Indulgence for looting in your deck. You could, and the mana would be kind of awkward to have 4 of these in your Psychic Frog deck, but it would be possible. But what instead we're doing here is, like, if we draw an Archon, we could just cast it with Fanatic of Rhonas sometimes, and if we draw an Archon, we can pitch it to Grief. That is kind of the idea here. And so because green-black doesn't have good lootings, the way we're going to get Archon in the graveyard is going to be via Unmarked Grave or milling it over with Malevolent Rumble, or although maybe occasionally a Mortuary. But these are your graveyard enablers here. And we have Nethergoyf, which is going to get pretty big in this deck. We have Nethergoyf, Scammed Grief, and then sometimes Persisted Troll of Khazad-dm as ways to turn Fanatic of Rhonas ferocious. In addition, we get to play some interaction besides the Griefs, get to play some pushes, some Thoughtseizes, some more of these in the sideboard. I think this list looks really, really nice. If you can get multiple tokens, I'm not doing anything else for a while. I meant the Orzhov deck, not this one. Oh, an Orzhov deck? Yeah, I think we're playing a couple of black MDFCs. I think I even cut a white card for a black card. Yeah, we have 17 black cards. I think that's plenty. Do you think Basim Aggro has legs? Oh, Basim Asmo. Yeah, I think that... Oh, Basim Asmo. Sorry. The Basim Ring deck we've been playing is pretty good. It is a very tough time to play Asmo, Cookbook, Urza Saga. There are just so many Wrath the Skies. There are so many Wrath the Skies. It's just not really something you want to play. Alright, don't Bowmaster me. Hey, if you Bowmaster, it's fine. Okay, just as a nightmare. You can play in all the 64% tokens. Okay, we are gonna be grinding. I think I just want to take another land, untapped land. So I can go Rumble plus Thoughtseize or push next turn, and then hopefully mill over one of these. Yeah, I kind of wanted to mess around with Phoenix Asmo, but it's just... Wrath the Skies is just so good against these decks. It is just 2 mana win the game. It's a very, very tough time to be playing Cookbook and Asmo. Ooh, very nice. Our opponent hits a Flage, which can kill my Spawn, but not my Nethergoyf. Although they can also target the Goyf and then Nightmare the Flage to kill the Goyf. They decide to go after the Spawn. We'll sack the Spawn so we can deny the life gain. I'm pretty sure we should Rumble to try to Woodland and Archon next turn. Hopefully we can mill over an Archon. We do mill over an Archon. It's good for us. Any chance I want this Troll of Khazad-dm in my hand? Yeah, probably a bit better than the Verdant Catacombs, I guess. Interesting. Challenge starts in 45 minutes. It starts at 10. I really am liking having a challenge on Friday and getting to play at least one tournament a weekend even if I'm not able to stream on the weekends. I am planning on streaming tomorrow, but I'm not locked in yet. It kind of depends on how long today's stream goes. Today's might go really long. Jeff with the 38 months, love you, buddy. Good to hear from you. Hope you're doing well. Say hi to Cynthia. I like Doom's Kappa Asmo deck is doing well with it. Yeah, Cannoneer is a nice way to maybe get underneath Wrath the Skies When I was playing, like the last Urza Saga deck I really liked was the Dimir Basim deck, and you just have 4 Force of Negations in your deck, so you don't need to be so worried about the Wrath of Skies. Yeah, cube events start, I believe, in 3 hours 45 minutes. So they can kill my spawn with the Nightmare Flage, but they won't be able to gain life. Because if they target the spawn, because I can sack. So they can target me to trigger the Pride. And that's what they do. So it looks like we're going to be able to Woodland and Archon for the first time on this channel. Very exciting. Boseiju is an interesting pickup. So I'm going to tap the newly controlled one here. I copy Archon of Cruelty. Please. My draw grief. Please sacrifice a creature. Discard a card. It is Obnixilis mystery card, right? Okay, that is what they discard. Go down to 0. Oh, sorry, Nightmare. It was Obnixilis Nightmare. How did Red Green Breach go last night? With Nile, we went 2-3. It was a lot of fun. It was fun to hang out with Nile for a league. I think we maybe would have won one match if time issues weren't such a problem, but it's kind of tough with the coaching thing for time issues. And then there's another match where I kind of messed up and maybe cost us the match. Okay, so they can get back Flage, which will gain them 3, and then they can get a trigger off the Ocelot Pride, which will gain them another 1. And they can attack with the Ocelot Pride for another 1. I guess they're thinking about just jumping the Ocelot Pride instead, but that's going to be less energy. We'll see. We'll see. Yeah, the problem with cubing is we opened all our power last time. That was very true. Wait, they're getting back... They sack Ocelot Pride to get back Amped Raptor? Do they think Amped Raptor is going to trigger? Yeah, I think they have... I mean, I don't think they had it out, probably, but... It seems as like a goof. All right, I'm just gonna activate my land and attack you with an Archon of Cruelty. Okay, so we're up a game against Mardu. Usually I like these Toxic Deluges of the matchup. We can bring a Needle for Nightmare. That's probably pretty good. Bring in a Fatal Push. And then what's their Graveyard Hate going to be, actually? I'm not sure how Mardu does for Graveyard Hate. Would Sonobi additions his mana base to complement Woodland? So my first Woodland decks had like a bunch of Sunken Citadels, but the problem is if you like take a turn off to play a tapped Sunken Citadel, it's pretty rare that you're just going to have Delirium in time for Shifting Woodland. It's also like it's not a forest to make Woodland enter untapped, so it could be kind of awkward. Obviously, it has some merits, but for the most part, I haven't found it to be very good. Okay, so I see a couple hearses. Yeah, I guess hearse has been pretty common. So we should probably play some number of Pick Your Poisons. 2 Pick Your Poisons. Although the Needle also gets the hearse, which is good. Alright, so maybe cut the Thoughtseizes. Also, of course, we could just maybe hardcast Archon. Can trim Bauble for... 4 more cuts will maybe be tough. I feel like this isn't a Grizzly Salvage deck. I mean, to give up on the card ever being in the format. Yeah, Salvage is kind of mediocre. It's worse than this one. It's worse than this one, I think. What else are we cutting? Maybe we'll cut the Nethergoyfs, but then my Fanatics get worse. I don't know if that makes sense. Maybe we can cut all the Baubles. They're kind of filler, but they also grow the Nethergoyf, and they help you with Woodland Delirium. Let's keep in at least 1. Trim Unmarked. Unmarked's really important. I think you could trim 1. I gotta say, I agree. I don't want to cut the Scam elements. I don't want to cut Fatal Push. Tough sideboarding. Let's trim a Nethergoyf. Is Unmarked Grave even worth it over Buried Alive? Yeah, one of these costs 2 mana, the other one costs 3. It's a huge deal. This deck, it is kind of nice that you can Buried Alive and you could put like a Nethergoyf and a Fanatic in the yard and get them back, but One of these like allows you to persist at Archon on turn 3, which is pretty ideal, right? Yeah, good trim of Fanatic too. I think Fanatic's pretty nice in the matchup. Is Nethergoyf the only Ferocious target? No, you have Scammed Grief, and you also have Persisted Troll. Okay, opponent's on a Mold of 5. Maybe digging for some graveyard hate. Alright, we might Persist a Troll next turn. What does getting to Vegas with Cube mean? There are Magic Online Cube events. There's 3 layers of battling, and if you get through all of them, or if you win, whatever, you get to... They fly you to Vegas. I was already planning on going to Vegas, but I haven't booked my flights, which is nice. But you also get to play an in-person Vintage Cube, and you get to keep the cards that you draft. Awesome event. Super, super cool. Would encourage y'all to try to get there. Let's keep it Rumble. Maybe I should have persisted the Troll. I think I just wanted to Rumble this turn though. Okay, nice to get an Archon into the yard for next turn. Just take a Forest. Or are you just saying this is a cool thing? Am I invited independently? Oh, I mean, I'm going to try to win the event, right? I'm going to try to qualify. I'm not I've not been given a special invite. I'm going to try to play matches of Magic and qualify, like always. What do you get if you win the in-person Vintage Cube? I that's a great question. I don't know if they've announced what the prizes are yet. No, Nile Spellbomb. So I guess I will just trade Persist for Nile Spellbomb here. Okay, and then we can maybe go Unmarked Grave Persist next turn. We'll do this before they get to... Good morning, Spikelings! Simply cast your Persist with confidence, Spikelings, and your Archon of Cruelty will enter play. I can keep this one. It's on the Mold of 6. I was in your last game, GG, I tried hard, I guess you're better. Paraphrase if you want to see the money PayPal. Thank you, Roro. I think I was able to go next turn on my Great Persist. I had a pretty good hand. I also had Toxic Deluge. I think we might have got there anyways. Ooh, Null Drifter and Mimic, cool. Okay, so we don't have a green mana in our hand right now. But we can, or should I have black mana in our hand to scam this grief? We'll get one with our Troll of Khazad-dm. Although, it could potentially be better for me to play Fanatic of Rhonas next turn, and then plan to go scam grief, then we get to tap Fanatic for 4, cast Malevolent Rumble, and maybe Nethergoyf. We may not have enough time. Yeah, I've been loving... Fanatic of Rhonas has become, like, I don't know, like, maybe last week it was Breaker of Creation I was obsessed with. This week it's been Fanatic of Rhonas. Yeah, J-Bro queuing would be pretty sweet. So one thing is, I don't know that I've ever drafted a cube draft on stream where I have tried. I love cube. I am a huge cube fan. I've played a lot of it. But when I play it on stream, I'm mostly just trying to have a good time. I'm trying to like take a break from Modern. I'm trying to do something goofy. And because it's cube, I've never really felt incentivized to try hard either. And so playing cube for stakes is really cool to me. I should have done some studying on what's in the cube, and I was planning to do that last night. Then I forgot that I had agreed to do the stream with Niall last night, which was really fun, and I had a good time. Just in case these events are not giving anything back if you don't 3-0. Okay, that's good for people to know. But what happens if you don't 3-0 is you have the ability to play again, baby. That's what you get. Exiles my Troll, and it makes 2 spawns. Exiling Troll is weird. Okay. So, will we scam this grief now that there is nothing there? I think, you know what? Let's not. Let's play this Fanatic of Rhonas, and then maybe I can go like Rumble into Nethergoyf, and have Delirium, or have this Nethergoyf be big enough because of the Rumble, and then would maybe able to tap this and hardcast an Archon soon. Although my opponent may, you know, they may put this into their hand. Oh, they drew another Null Drifter? Wait, they're just hard casting Null Drifter off the top? No scries, no nothing? That's bad. Amount of champ points for a deck tech? I can take a look, Doom. When you draft to qualified, do you always play players from your pod? I don't think so. Wait, my opponent declined to use the Mimic ability? And some freebies today, huh? I'm spending too much money on my paid actors. I need to, I need to spend more money on these cube drafts. Paid actors! Paid actors, take to the cube leagues! Actors, please! To the cube leagues with you! Trying a more aggressive version of Brood Scale Combo. Yeah, I haven't tried Brood Scale Combo yet. Okay, so we're looking interesting. So this, I'll have sorcery, creature, land. So I can also persist grief right now. Okay, so I can make the Nethergoyf bigger by casting Not Dead After All. And then I'd have 4, 5, 6, 7 mana. So if I drew a black source, that would let me hardcast Archon next turn. Oh, right, I've got to sacrifice my spawn, though. I'd be pretty interested in playing Mycospawn as a way to get Saga to get Blade, and Mycospawn is just also very good. But I agree, it's not super aggro. Although I feel like you could kind of easily cut the Dismembers and the Allah's Dusts, just sideboard them and just play Mycospawns, and then you're like really linear with not a lot of interaction, but that's also just kind of fine. Well, I guess one thing I could maybe do here is, it depends on what they do, but if they take Archon, I could sack the Fanatic, grow the Nethergoyf to 4/5, and block the Eldrazi Mimic. And I could maybe also just eternalize this instead of persisting it. Mycospawn for Saga for Blade is too slow. Or maybe it's, yeah, maybe it's too slow, but like these kind of combos, it's like Brood-Scale Blade is not a good combo, or it's not like super duper powerful, but it's just kind of something that like the threat of the combo, the ability to pressure your opponent in this way is like what's powerful about it, you know? Yeah, I think I'm gonna go for this line. Oh my gosh, why do I always think I can I thought I didn't have a creature in the yard, and all of a sudden, I'm in the middle of deck tech, and there is a creature in the yard. And they took the right card here, I guess. Alright, let's go to game 2. Don't think we're winning that one anyways, probably, but definitely a big punt. So we're bringing the Break the Ice. I might want Toxic Deluges against this build. I'm not sure. Probably the first one. And then they will probably have some artifact-based graveyard hate. So I think the first Needle is going to be a bit better at answering those. Then we can play a couple Pick Your Poisons. Maybe I don't want the Toxic Deluge. Hard to sideboard too much here. I think we can go down a couple Baubles again, trim an Unmarked Grave, and then... Fatal Push is like, I think maybe not exactly where we want to be. Trim 1 seems fine. Trim the Thoughtseize seems fine. Chimagwif again? Not sure. But yeah, it's just like the threat of the combo I think is really nice, but I don't know. Mycospawn is also just a super good card. It complements your World Breakers really well. I guess you would probably need like to have at least one more World Breaker for imprint targets. I've been loving World Breaker. Their World Breaker's been so good. I don't know if like I guess Fleshraker kills, which the combo was good. I have not really been liking It That Heralds the End that much. I think the card is not great. It's obviously like a fine card to play, but it's been feeling a little weak. To get Overgrown Tomb, so Woodland enters untapped, and we can Unmarked Grave for Archon, and hopefully Woodland it. Right now we are missing. We'll be missing one type for Delirium since the Unmarked Grave puts 2 types in the yard. Kind of hard to get Revolt and pushing in Baubles. I mean, we have a good amount of fetch lands. We have Griefs. I think I disagree. Okay, getting dismembered. Let's take a turn and not Unmarked Grave here, because if my opponent plays a Graveyard Hate spell next turn, which is like, this is like when they would cast the Hearse, probably. That's going to give me Delirium for Woodland also. If they like cast Hearse, we get to Needle it. It's good for me with versions of Fleshraker Command. Other issues, I had not enough turn 1 plays with 8 soul lands. I think it's okay to not have that many turn 1 plays where like your turn 2 plays are just so strong, but obviously having a turn 1 play is nice. I mean, I've been playing a lot of bills that just don't have turn 1 plays with Eldrazi and been feeling like it's fine. Right. Big draw. I think we got a Grief. Maybe a little slow. Is there a reason this deck runs Filterlands Twilight Mire where many other 2 colors I've seen don't? There's a reason. Let me finish taking this turn real quick. I think I'm gonna name Ugin's Lab here. So I've never done that. What's the reason to not cut a few cards of Mono Green Algae for Stirrings? Wouldn't that increase consistency overall? Well, the reason is that you're a Trinisphere deck, and so there's some tension there. You could still do it if you wanted to, but the problem is it's not very easy to just cut lands for Ancient Stirrings because you're not going to have a density of green sources for your turn 1 Stirrings. But you could. But the main reason is Trinisphere. I had Stirrings in like all my green lists, and I don't know. This just doesn't feel the most necessary. Okay, so if a land will let me Woodland next turn, which may be again a little too slow. Let's see what we top deck. But yeah, the filter lands here are kind of weird, right? Where we're like a mostly black deck that's playing a lot of lands that only tap for green, and we've got some double black cards like Archon of Cruelty that we are trying to hardcast, and we have double black cards like Grief, and then we have also Fanatic of Rhonas that's making a lot of green mana. So sometimes the ability to filter that green mana into black is pretty nice. So Madcap Eldrazi can run in Stirrings no problem because Trinisphere anyways. You can run it in that deck. It is not no problem, is what I'm trying to say, is that there is a very real cost. It's very awkward in the Eldrazi deck to play Ancient Stirrings, where it's like you would want to cut lands, but you cannot cut lands because you don't have enough turn 1 green sources. This is an issue. No room for Flare of Cultivation. You can crack Rhonas, strictly eternalize it. In this deck that we're playing now, it would just be like you would have to add 4 flares and like 4 other things to sack the flare, and that's like it's a very different deck once you swap 8 cards. But I do like Flare of Cultivation, and I do agree that Flare of Cultivation plus Fanatic is kind of interesting. Oh, I forgot to mention this in the deck tech, but like one big problem with Unmarked Grave, let's draw that card. One big problem with Unmarked Grave in general is that like when you're playing its counter spells, your opponents just let the Unmarked Grave resolve and then they just counter your Persist. But Shifting Woodland being uncounterable really helps negate that. All right, Entombment Archon. And then our Nethergoyf was at 4/5, so next turn we can Woodland and Archon here. No Fatal Push is good. Although they might have like Soul Spike for my Fanatic after a Necro. Fair enough. That is a good Boggart Trawler, dang. Rumbling. Instant sorcery land. So we can try to get Delirium with the Underground Mortuary next turn, or draw a Bauble maybe. And then if I do, I can just cast Archon. Yeah, I'm excited about the black-white deck. Oh, great. This is kind of a good spot where, like, if they take Archon, then we just can Woodland it. And if they don't take Archon, we can just cast it if we surveil Delirium, or if we draw Bauble. Okay, they take my Unmarked Grave. They have Necro. Complicates things. Push my Nethergoyf for Delirium. Well, the problem is I can't push Nethergoyf. Oh, I can push Nethergoyf and activate Woodland, actually. Okay. See if they Soul Spike my Fanatic, though. No Soul Spike. It's big. Okay, I drew the Bauble. Let's go. So crack this. There's a Grief on top of their library. Oh, right. For some reason, I'm like, we're Woodlanding here. But no, we are hardcasting this Archon. And we get to get in with the Nethergoyf. Is there a Vegas Cube command? There's an event on Magic Online right now. We should probably link the info, but if you do well enough in this event, you get flown to Vegas and you get to draft a vintage cube in real life, and you get to keep the cards you draft. And so we're trying to qualify for that. Yeah, for that, just hard casted an Archon with our 2-mana dork. Can you add it to your status? I can't update your status. What is, like, my Facebook status? We have statuses on Twitch. Wait, is it keep the cards you draft or winner keeps the cube? So everyone. So what I understand, I might have those details a little wrong, but I think that everyone keeps the cards they draft, and then the prizes for the draft are the rest of the cube that doesn't get drafted. Stream title of stream. Well, what am I supposed to put? I put getting to Vegas with cube. I can't type all the details. I could put like exclamation point getting to Vegas, maybe. Getting to Vegas. We can maybe make the commands or something. Hold on. So I drew a Persist. This is notably not online anymore. I would really like to Woodland my... I mean, I guess I'm just going to Woodland the Archon. There's nothing they can have, so let's stop thinking about this, I guess. Yeah, like what's the command? Just someone make the command and I'll add Vegas Cube title. Okay, got it. Okay, up a game against Necro. We want some Fatal Pushes for Shieldred. Want to treat him at least one. I'd like us Archon Shieldred sometimes. I think I mostly just want to bring in my own Thoughtseizes. Their deck is pretty weak to discard. They don't play a lot of Graveyard Hate either. Just the Trawlers mostly, right? Just do this. Seems okay. On that turn, could you persist Archon, then use Fanatic Mana to also within the Archon? So you couldn't, right? Because when you persist the Archon isn't in the graveyard anymore for you to use on the Woodland on. Right, let's keep this one. So I'm going to pop the Bauble main phase because of Bowmaster. But I had two. I think I only had one. I might have had two. I'm pretty sure I only had one. If I had two, I could have done it, yeah. But also just like Woodland Copy Archon was just so clearly lethal. Didn't need to worry about it too much. All right, let's bring those Fatal Pushes back in. My bad. I don't know. I feel like I haven't seen a lot of Voidwalkers in lists lately, but maybe I'm just tripping. I don't know. Okay. On the play, Unmarked Grave kind of beats Voidwalker. They run 3 Surgicals. I thought it was like... I feel like a lot of lists I've seen lately have just not had Graveyard Hate, but maybe they're a little out of date. So in chat, you keep the cards you draft. Have they put out what cards are made in Vintage Cube? I think it's just like the normal powered Vintage Cube, but I'm not sure. Take my Persist probably, or sorry, my Thoughtseize probably. So I probably want to keep this Boseiju for Necrodominance. Do people have to hide their hands between rounds before swapping for proxies? People have to have their hand. I don't to prevent swapping for proxies. I don't know what we're talking about. Sorry. Okay, let's hold up Boseiju for Necro instead of persisting the Fanatic. Want to eternalize anyways. Oh, I guess I should have evoked Grief first. Sorry about that. I have the Not Dead After All in the yard. 1 more damage. Yeah, I think I'm just going to leave them with the Dothy Voidwalker. Obviously, it's a little bit awkward. We have a lot of pushes in our deck, and they're just on a 2-turn clock. Unless they draw a removal spell this turn. If they draw a removal spell next turn, it's too slow. So I guess I don't want to cycle this now, because that would allow my opponent to cast this and block the troll. We have basic swamp, so we could just eternalize Fanatic next turn. But they should still be dead, right? Because this has Menace, so they can't double block it. Yeah. Alright, challenge starts in 11 minutes. Yeah, they could. Well, they could now. Yeah, they could put our troll into play, but again, it just doesn't matter. They're just dead on board. How many green sources would be enough to warrant stirrings? You would want like 16, I think, but you could get away with like Devour does make the math like a little weird, different. Canister, thanks for the raid. Hope you're doing well. Welcome to all the faithful suitors out there. We had a good stream. We're about to play. So challenge starts in like 10 minutes. Nice. The regular 3-round cube is still up. Yeah, but I guess we can maybe get some practice in. But we got this. We're 2-1 in this league. Let's finish this league up. Is Break the Ice better than Recurring Fulminator? I definitely have thought about it some. I think that the answer is yes. I think I want to get Overgrown Tomb, so that if I draw Shifting Woodland, I could maybe get a Surveil land with this. I've thought about it some. It's just like Fulminator Mage is too slow on the draw. It's like when you're on the draw against Tron and your opening hand has a Fulminator Mage, you're like, this is too slow. And when it has a Break the Ice, you're like, huzzah, I am likely to win this match. And I don't know, I think that's just kind of enough. Excellent news, I've drawn a Break the Ice. It'll be very hard for me to lose. Any updates to Red Green Crimes list of Modern? I've been thinking about it some. I haven't updated the deck. I've been really wanting to play Seismic Assault plus Shifting Woodland. Pretty sure plus MTGO seems like it has potential. I don't know. It seems so incredibly slow. I've heard a lot of people say that though. I was hoping that they would keep a Galvanic Discharge here, but obviously don't have enough energy. We're never seeing Rockrick again. I mean, never say never. Like they just haven't printed a lot of good multicolor cards lately, but they did print Flage, pretty good with Rockrick. I don't necessarily think it's good, but Nantuko bestowing Lookout as a drug. Yeah, I agree. I'm sure it's very fun. Any chance we could play Detective Phoenix in this deck? In this deck? I really don't want to splash a color. Detective Phoenix is very cool. There may be a cool, like, Unmarked Grave pile with Detective Phoenix. Or, sorry, Buried Alive pile. I promise I'm thinking about that card. I really would love to figure out Detective's Phoenix. All right, let's go to combat first. I don't really understand the Fanatic deck. Doesn't seem so easy to have the Ferocious. It's not that tough. You have Scammed Grief, you have Necrogoyf, you have Persisted Troll of Khazad-dm, you just have Eternalized Fanatics itself. And then when you do have this, it lets you hardcast Archon, lets you activate Shifting Woodland really well, can hardcast Trolls sometimes. Could also put it this way: tap 4 mana, good. Too good to tap for 4 mana. 4 mana, lots of mana. If die, come back. Fanatic's just so sick. It's like, here, they get to bounce my Archon, but then I could just cast my Archon if I draw a land, or if I had cycled my Troll last turn, I guess. Could cast the Troll this turn, maybe. I think it makes a bit more sense for me to hardcast Grief and cycle the Troll. So we'll keep that on top and then not cast the Unmarked Grave yet. They not have another white source for Flage? No, they don't. They draw white source next turn, could be bad. Alright, pushes out. One thing less Jeskai plays like 1 or 2 lanterns in the sideboard. Which is like maybe 2-time use, but I just don't think we need. I guess Needle hitting that and also hitting Ring is good enough to bring in, but don't need to sweat it too much. Angel, 6 months. Thank you. Welcome back. I've got the answer. Splash 1 for Unburial Rites, Unmarked Grave 4. I mean, I've done that for a long time. You played a Unburial Rites for Unmarked Grave 2 to target. You definitely could. One thing in this deck is if you don't need to persist an Archon, you can put a Fanatic in your graveyard for some value. But we also have redundancy to persist with Shifting Woodland, so more redundancy with Rites feels less important in this build. And the splash is not probably as easy as you would want it to be, but it wouldn't be that tough. Was Archon the better play to make the only out basic planes? I was 1 mana short of casting Archon there. It's cost 8, I had 7. If I had cycled the Troll the turn before, we could have cast Archon that turn. I Bauble myself. If I like really hate my top card, I'd probably cycle a Troll this turn instead of play the Nethergoyf. How much do I hate Verdant Catacombs? Honestly, kind of a lot. Kind of a lot, since we have like 4 lands in this hand effectively. It's interesting Grief isn't dominating the format because Nadu has the Spotlight. It's interesting Grief isn't because I don't know. I don't know that Grief would be dominating the format. Sans Nadu. Like after they banned Fury, like Scam was still a deck that existed, but was just kind of fine and not one of the better choices for tournaments for a long time. Grief has been very good in living in for a long time. Maybe I should evoke the Grief, pitch the Troll. I really don't want them to Teferi my Fanatic. I can maybe persist this later. Oh, I think the Necro deck is pretty good, and then there are some brews like this that get to play Grief. But I don't necessarily think that Grief would be dominating Modern if Nadu was banned. Thanks for clarifying that. Yeah. What? Sure. Happy to help. The Boros can invoke can be decently positioned as an aggro deck. So I've been playing what's it called? Mono White Collector's Cage, I think is a better version of the Convoke deck. Didn't Scam win like 6 events after Fury got banned? Is that a lot for like a long period? Like what is this, like 5, 6, 7, 8 months? It's not like it was not the best deck in Modern after after Grief was after Fury was banned. Scam did not dominate Modern after Fury was banned. Sorry, after Fury was banned. This is, I feel like, just almost objective fact, and it was a playable deck still. Yeah, Grief is a playable Modern card. $5 a month or $6 a month for the rest of your life. Grief, playable Modern card. Yeah, I agree. Graveyard's a Flage. But was it the best deck in Modern? No. And so I'm responding to a comment that's, I think, implying the hard to tell with the dots that were Nadu banned, Grief would be a too dominant force of the metagame. Yeah, challenge started already. We're 1-0. So I like that if they escape the Flage, we can just Archon it. Yeah, it just doesn't seem to do a lot. So I don't quite have Delirium because I said no to that Verdant Catacombs, I guess. Also, I don't know, I haven't been losing to the Necro deck a lot, but maybe it's just like skill issue on Magic Online, where Magic Online players are worse than like Moto player or the PT players were. Alright, so I guess I'm gonna go persist this Archon of Cruelty. And then I'm gonna copy the Troll of Khazad-dm with my Woodland if this resolves. Oh, sorry. Forgot that we don't have Delirium. Duh. Ravioli with the 12 months. Hope you're doing well. I guess I could channel Boseiju. Could have channeled Boseiju, but I don't have enough mana to channel Boseiju and also activate Woodland. Necro deck is incredibly hard as well. A lot of weird lines, tough choices. Yeah. I agree. As a lot of people were saying, it's like one of the hardest decks they've ever played, which I do believe. All right, should have time to finish this league here. This is like run Planeswalkers. No, there are no Planeswalkers in this deck. There's actually no Planeswalkers in most Modern decks. You know, you still see some Karns and Teferis and Ren and Sixes and Grists, but you know, no Planeswalkers. Grief is just annoying, that's all. Yeah, I agree. It is not fun to be Grief scammed. It is not fun to be Grief scammed. But this idea that Grief is dominating Modern or would dominate Modern, I think is just not really like a supported claim. Okay, let's keep this. Probably can put back the second Shifting Woodland. And then just shock an Overgrown Tomb. It's like a super fast league. Is Pick Your Poison still better than alternatives without Zoo being popular? It's pretty versatile. It's like you're mostly playing it in this deck as like a card that can answer Blood Moons and Hearses and Leyline of the Voids and just kind of like everything that you're worried about with this archetype. So I guess we're keeping that on top so that we could persist this troll next turn, and then the turn after just hardcast Archon. 1 Liliana increases Delirium and can discard cards second end. Yeah, you could maybe play Liliana. Liliana is not great, but she ain't that bad either. Were we wide spiking the challenge? Oh, I kind of totally forgot to put on the hand hider, but yeah, we should put on the hand hider. In blue-black, how do I answer Hearse? So that's kind of the problem with playing a blue-black Reanimator deck, is you do not... if your opponent plays a single graveyard hate card, and you're like, oh no, are we a Hearse? I'm cooked. So you can play Pithing Needle. That's kind of like your Pithing Needle, Flute. These are kind of your only answers. Do I want another Persist? think I'm going to Graveyard because we have the Woodland, but definitely a convo. Why not Surveil Archon last turn? So I because I couldn't, I had a fetch land in play, right? And I looked at the top card of my library, but what happens if I fetch? I shuffle away the Archon. Splash red for artifact removal doesn't make the red splash worth it. So it would be better to splash white or green, because this way you can also answer enchantments. So green gets pick your poison, which kind of gets everything, etc., etc. Okay, good static prison. Three cards in their hand still. 6 matches still going in the Chally. My 1/4 wall. Do you ever run music on the channel? No. It's, I think, a net negative, unfortunately, where if you want to listen to music, you can listen to music you want, and but like my choices in music are, you know, some people are, you're just not gonna be able to please everyone with like your music choices, and so it's like no music is not a deal breaker for people, but the music I play might be a deal breaker for some people, if that makes sense. So I guess my best draw is Boseiju. I could Boseiju the prison, get this back, hardcast Archon. But I listen to music while I play. I'm listening to. What is this? Rave? Ah. Missing a card type to just hardcast Archon here. Would they ever block if I attacked with the Fanatic? I mean, I guess they're just not attacking because I'm gonna be able to hardcast this Archon. Do they know about the Archon? Be cool to have a playlist link. Yeah, I guess. I mean, I'm just not like. I think I'm just not that much of a music guy. Like, I like music a lot, but I'm not like, I'm just not super nerdy about it. And I'm not, I just kind of have music I like, and I've got playlists I listen to, but I'm just not super nerdy about music like some people are, which is okay. Second Johnny is probably gonna kill me here. Yeah, just super dead. They get to hit me for 6. Yeah. Yeah, Esther's a bit nerdy. Esther also listens to like just a lot more pop than I tend to enjoy. So I'm gonna do like 1 pick your poison, 1 needle against Boros. Try this. Try this. By Donna Swifty. Yeah, I think there are 3 Taylor Swift songs I like really like, and then a lot of songs I'm kind of neutral on, and a lot of songs I don't like that much. What music am I into? I listen to a lot of rap. I listen to a lot of classic rock, a lot of musicals, a lot of soundtracks, a lot of funk. Can you keep this? The good mulligan. I like the Goyf. The Goyf is kind of important for this to be online. It's kind of tough because we want Troll to get our forest. So we want to go turn 1, cycle Troll. Turn 2, Fanatic. Turn 3, I guess we could put back the Unmarked Grave and hope our Rumble's good, because we just, yeah, it's probably okay. Do I listen to Vaporwave? I have. Vaporwave's okay. Is Temporary Lockdown good enough for Boros Energy over Pyroclasm? Well, 2 mana versus 3 mana is pretty different. And it's like, Temporary Lockdown kind of misses... It misses like all the same things Pyroclasm misses, right? It misses like the Fable enchantment itself, and it misses Flage. But it does hit like Guide of Souls if it has counters on it, so it's not all upside. Listen to Eminem's new album? No. I don't know. Eminem was a rapper that I liked when I was like 18, and I appreciate Eminem. And I liked Marshall Mathers' LP2 a lot. I thought that was a great album. I liked Recovery a lot. I thought that was a great album. But Eminem just is a rapper that I don't feel like is very interested in evolving and changing, and I tend to like enjoy artists a lot more when they change and evolve a lot. I think, you know, Kendrick is the GOAT, and I think Kendrick is a really good example of an artist who is able to grow and change pretty constantly. Well, should have kept Unmarked Grave, I guess. Oh, never mind. They don't need it. This is like an Unmarked Grave that also gives you a land. I'm gonna take the Mortuary. A little greedy. Well, the 7 mana value spells and Ugin's Lab decks, is it worth playing one Sanctum of Ugin to fetch, like, Micro Spawn? Well, I mean, there's just like a billion colorless utility lands you can choose from. I do think a Sanctum of Ugin is certainly one of them, but I don't know that it's necessarily the best one. Okay, so we can go Fatal Push, something that gives us Delirium, and then we can copy the Archon. I think we push the Guide of Souls. Turning your land into an Archon of Cruelty is pretty crazy. Is Fanatic the new DRC? Maybe. Fanatic has been really dang good for me. They find a Galvanic Discharge. So they kill my Goyf, they go down to 0 energy. They don't have a great attack. Oh, just 1 energy. So can I escape Nethergoyf and then have Delirium still? So I can exile a sorcery, a creature, a land. But I only have 1 instant. So I guess we should maybe just see if we can get another type in the yard to do that. No, but I'll keep a Rumble for next turn. So they discard their last card. They sack the cat token. They take a bunch of damage. The last card is a Flage, and they have Arena of Glory in play. So we may have a bit of a game on our hands if they top deck a land. Rumble for this turn. We're mana short, right? Yeah, attack with Archon every turn is pretty good. Oh, sorry, I forgot that we could Rumble off the Fanatic, but also just being able to block a cat is pretty important, right? Maybe it's not that important. Well, they're just dead to an Archon, so no need to Rumble. Just kill him. Go to game 3. Do you think Anvil Station is a dead dream? No, I wouldn't say dead. It got a lot of like splash damage because of all the storm hate. I think it's still experiencing, but it seems poorly positioned. But did get maybe some new stuff. So I'm just kind of waiting to work on it some. All right. Hopefully we can finish game 3 in time for the round 2 of the challenge. Game 3 on the draw against Boros. They're mulligan to 6. Let's join them. Let's keep. Opponent's on 5. There's a place this weekend running a no proxy but no ban list unsets legal 2 constructed event. No proxy, no ban list. So this is unrestricted vintage. What would I play in an unrestricted vintage tournament? Well, I don't own Black Lotuses. I would probably not play because I don't have any power until Vegas this year when I'll be drafting all of the power because all of my paid actors will just take, Nissa Who Shakes the World first pick. Wait, uncards are legal too? You can play Blacker Lotus? Let's go, dude. Yeah, I don't have a super in-depth knowledge of unset cards. Oh, dude, you hit it on Johnny. Yikes. They can. This is turn. They can kill my Fanatic. Okay, well, I guess probably gonna lose this one. Tinker Mox Lotus. Maybe Tinker decks would be pretty good. Can you play Conspiracies? Ooh. Probably. Barn challenge is over. No, we won round 1. Round 2 has not started yet. We just won pretty fast, and so we played. We're about to have played 2 full matches between rounds. Well, this helps, I guess. Still got that to Johnny. Yeah, I was gonna stream the cube qualifiers when they start in like an hour or so. So like the tentative plan, and this is working out really well today. But just yeah, do. Hold on. I guess I'm just gonna Fanatic so I can hardcast Archon next turn. But it's this league challenge and the cube qualifiers in between rounds of the challenge, and hopefully we can make another deep run. Fanatic. I haven't really looked too closely at the art on the Eternalized Fanatic. Looks really cool. Does this token exist in paper? No. Wait. No, this is fine. I could get a swamp off my troll and then cast the Archon still. Right? I think I have another swamp in the deck. And I have all the green mana off the Fanatic. Okay, we're actually just fine. Yeah, we could also just pick your poison off the Fanatic if we wanted to. I think we're supposed to do this instead. Maybe it's a little risky if they can kill my Fanatic, but it seems kind of tough for them to do so. Actually, not that tough. Just play any creature. Then I have my Archon. So this can kill the Flage. Or sorry, this can kill the Archon if they minus, or when they 0 rather. Sorry. Okay. Good game. I think pick your poison, get rid of it is better to get rid of permanent. Yeah. It's kind of hard to resist the hardcast Archon, I guess, but I think I'm on board. They get to copy this cat token too. It's so dumb. Okay, so you are going to sack an enchantment. Guess I have to take the needle. And then can I guess I can go Rumble into Troll and I want to Rumble first, so I have the option to maybe find a Shifting Woodland, but I didn't find the Woodland or another Archon. Oh, wait, am I just dead on board actually? Sorry about that. Thought I had enough to play this and block to live. So play it out, but obviously shocking is to play the Mortuary stuff. Oopsie doopsie. Round 2 starts 1 minute. Maybe for the best. Yeah, we're gonna get Arena of Glory Flage anyway, so we're dead there. It's okay. Hard fought. I'm going to get the... I don't know, for some reason, like, this is the same scene. I didn't change anything, but it just... The camera reverted.